today we will have a special video here on YouTube. I will make this over on Twitch. And well, what are we doing today? Yesterday a new video was released, the Astartes part number 4, and well, it is published by the channel called Astartes, and well, they started in March 26, 2018 with uploading part 1 of this series, and well, let's watch it together and analyze it, shall we? So let's go over to this screen. There we go, and let's start watching. So let's pause for a second here. So we see here the date. Oh, it didn't stop. Let's go back. So we see here the date, M482, 482.M39. This means this is in the year 39,482. The Argosa uprisings have been checked. Retributors Astartes now assist the hunt for fleeing leaders of the rebellion. So this is well, their mission. They hunt leaders of a rebellion. You know, Astartes, Space Marines, let's be honest, are normally used like a precise instrument to kill off several targets, and this time, well, the Empire is the Imperium of Man is fighting against some uprising, and they are fighting. So let's continue. Stop right here. Here we see not a battle cruiser. This is just a tiny little frigate cruiser thingy from Battlefleet Gothic. We know this from the board game, but the detail here is astonishing. It's really nice. In the background here we see a planet, then the asteroid ring. Here we see the Space Marines walking through a hallway, and here you see the size difference that is real for a human and an actual Astartes. Really nice detail. Here we see, I would believe, 2 Space Marines, like captains or something, here going over the mission briefing, I guess. Here we can see the asteroid belt clearly, and here the planet, and maybe here all the dots are some cities, settlements, whatever. Here the white dots are maybe forces that are deployed, I guess. Here we can see them waiting. This is also a really nice picture. Here we can see the Space Marines well, making some rituals to bless his weapon, his bolter. The design of the bolter is like a mixture out of the old bolter designs from way back in the 90s and the newer Goodwin scheme, Mars pattern. You see them walking down the corridor into what seems to be a drop pod kind of thing. It's more of a drop torpedo we see in the here they are held in place by these things. A really nice detail, definitely. And well, and there they got ejected out into space. Well, That's it for part 1. Let's continue directly with part 2. We start right off, right at the second where we left in the last episode. I like this continuity. Here we see, I think this is a Valkyrie or another Imperial bomber-like thing, now in space, escorting this torpedo here. These things are like servos or something. We have never seen them actually in lore or on the battlefield, but this is a nice invention. We see what they do. Nice in detail with the little rocks hitting the surface. Also the sound effects are really nice. And here you see now our target. This is some sort of a rebel cruiser, and here one of these pods is now firing forward, and they have intercepted something that was targeted obviously at this thing. We have seen something, some other ship shooting at this. From our angle we come directly from here, and the shots from this ship would be targeted here. That means some other ship is firing at them. And obviously they are shooting forward to something that is off camera right there. Here this servo thing has also captured something different that was intersecting. And now we see this battle barge closer. It's a really neat design, also Imperial design. You can see here directly this Gothic cathedral-like design here. This is reminiscent of all Imperial ships. It's a freighter or something, I would say. And we are now seeing what these things here are really in. There, this thing is firing melter shots into the hull, so this enter torpedo can crash through the hull. So now all of a sudden we are inside the ship. We see the crash site of this thing, and immediately some guardsmen are checking out what is coming. So this thimble here, we have never seen it before. I don't know which faction this is. This is obviously here the rebels. But they seem to have quite good equipment. Here they have breathing masks, they have plate armor. It's quite a good equipment for well, the standard Imperial foot soldier, I would say. So this is a really nice shot. This is a visual representation of the visor of a space marine itself. Here, the thermal visor. How many guys we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 guys. And here we see the squad marching in. Here's a little detail that is important. Imagine here, this is a plasma pistol. We see it on his right leg. Remember that, it's on his right leg. Also the bolter shots from the sound are really nice. And here you see how good they are targeting. Every shot a hit. Let's go back to this for a second. You can see how one bolter shot is splitting this guy in half, exploding in the middle of him. Yeah, this is absolutely murdering, splattering. This is how you really would imagine Space Marines and bolters behave. Here you see them marching forward. He's still shooting a little bit. Also, you can see the squad markings on them. The guy firing here, this is obviously the sergeant firing. And this was part 2. So, let's go to part 3, shall we? So, here we see obviously 2 guys standing here in the crowd of these Imperial soldiers who are running through them. They are commanding them, smacking them with some electro pike or something. And they seem to guard something here in the background. Here you see a really nice close-up of the mask with all the intricate details and inscriptions here. On the first glance, they seem like nobles or something, but what they are we will definitely see in part 4, but I don't want to spoil right now. Background here, this is the thing that they are guarding. We don't know yet what it is. Some sort of vault. This scene is cool. He's firing and then he's throwing a grenade in there. And they're simply not stopping there. Here you can see a barricade of some Imperial Guardsmen trying to stop them with their laser rifles, even here autocannons. And they're gone. One managed to shoot a rocket, but they simply dodge it. Space Marines! This was a nice shot here. Let's go back. There. This is a cool shot. The rocket still hitting in the background. This is so cool. Yeah, here we have a really cool guy. This one here with visors over the eyes and definitely loading up a pretty hefty gun, I would say. But his visor isn't doing much. Also, I see this is a firing team. There are 2 guys here. They are hiding in some ventilation shaft. And not a single hit. And he thinks, okay, let's do something about it. And he is doing something about them. Here we see a little foreshadowing what is to come. This is also another heavy weapons firing team from the Imperial Guard. This is a multi-laser, normally attached to a Chimera. Here, this scene is also really cool. He is well, firing in this direction, and someone is sneaking up on him. You can see the ammunition count is still 911 or 116, I don't know. One of the both. And he's carrying here some kind of well, melter bomb, I would say, is this. And he tried to sneak up, but the Space Marine heard him. And still firing, just casually. This is how Space Marines are supposed to fight. Yay! Here we see again the multi-laser firing team preparing to shoot. Here we have a big chasm. Obviously a trap. Guys are falling. have the sergeant, and what is to come? Firing. And here we have the thing that I was talking previously before. Have you noticed it? Let's go back a second. See, this is his crotch. Here is his plasma pistol. And it is now on the other side. He has it now on the left side. He started it on the right side. This is a little mistake on the on this video, but well, I don't want to critique. This is just one thing that I noticed. And boom, hits this thing. Really nice. This was part 3, and now we come to the real deal. The meat grinder. We come to part 4, the video that was released yesterday. I will let that play, and then we analyze it. Yeah, that was part 4. Now let's go back and analyze this. So it starts with a top-down view of the objective here, the vault. Now we can see a little bit different angles. This is some big spherical thing with a big seal on front. Here this was where in part 2 the guys were running across. And they're standing here alone. This was supposed, I would say, the Space Marines crossing this gap that was previously where the trap was. And now you hear in the background the Space Marines running. They are getting a little bit agitated. They arrive. This here has some marks here on the shoulder. And there you see the Space Marines communicating with each other soundless. He just makes a tiny little nod with his head and they erect. Yeah. yeah, stabilizing the bolter on the railing and firing. This is a cool detail. Here you can see all the bolter shots in the psychic field, still with a rocket propelled grenades, and they all explode. This is so minuscule detail that the bolt shells are actually little tiny rockets that explode on impact. This is so cool. The design also here with a spine thing that is electrocuting from two sides now. This is also cool. We see them running already in part 2, but this is now charging. This is something different. This is so awesome. And this time he is holding his plasma again in the left hand. There the psychers have just well, crushed here some psychic force into the two guys that are on the railing here on top, so they are out of commission for a while, I guess. Even plasma can't hurt them, so he tosses it at a side. Here a nice detail. If we can catch it, yeah, there. This is the sergeant that ran into the multi-laser shots, and also here all the impact things on his helmet, his shoulder pad, and something. And he's using now his combat knife. Holding him in place. There he, well, tried to kill the guy here in the corridor. And one additional Space Marine that they haven't encountered yet is also readying his knife. He's still forcing all his might against the psychic power, so pushing it just a tiny bit through the psychic barrier. Yeah, losing his grip on him, and he almost kills him. Just centimeters away from his neck, he started to hold him. Well, the other guy holds him. There he gets his spark back into the eyes, and he's ready to strike, but now he is again in the grip. He gets almost killed, and the other guy is running towards him. This is the guy obviously holding him in place, but he gets attacked from the other Space Marine. And they're putting all his force into this one strike. Done, and he is also now free. Zack, and killed. This is so cool. Yeah, and their final goal is awaiting them. And here we can see the survivors, these two. One is coming from over here, one from here, and one from here. That means all 5 have survived. Wait a second. A strange thing is, from the overall shot, they stood here, and here at the beginning, and they are now laying here. So they have moved slightly. So, in the beginning, where do we have it? Here's the beginning shot, the 2 guys, and then the end shot, the Space Marines are walking down there. Yeah, well, I hope you liked this little video analysis of Astartes part 1 to 4. Well, and we see us in the next video. You Alexandra.